Hello everyone, Eric Lima here. You watch my YouTube vlog, which my sentimental thoughts come from the heart and soul. My mental oddball shenanigans come from the mind and brain. This is EML77 TV, episode 711. What's going on? June the 21st, 2020, 6:32 p.m. Once again, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, including my own. And I love you, Dad. And if not for you, I wouldn't be here today. Well, a lot of people have watched the last ride of the Undertaker documentary on W Network. I have not got a chance to watch the whole thing, but according to a lot of reports, according to that, the Undertaker is officially retiring from in-ring competition in the WWE after 30 long years being with the company, being loyal to the company and all that, barring barring anything getting panicked by Vince. And I gotta tell you, I'm going to have to admit this right now. The Undertaker's legacy in the ring is second to none. Probably the most phenomenal career in 30 years with one company that this man had. I mean, it's totally amazing about how things ended up being the way they are with the Undertaker. I mean, his final match as of now is the Boneyard match against AJ Styles at WrestleMania 36. You know, he is one of the best, he's probably, if not the best, WWE superstar of all time. The Undertaker made his debut November 22nd, 1990 at Survivor Series in Hartford, Connecticut as the fourth man to join the $1 Million Team, along with Ted DiBiase and Rhythm and Blues, as they faced the Dream Team of Dusty Rhodes, Koko Beware, and then WWE World Tag Team Champions, the Hart Foundation, Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Originally, the $1 Million Team was supposed to consist of Ted DiBiase, Bad News Brown, and Rhythm and Blues. Bad News Brown was released by the company, and steps in the Undertaker. Nobody knew anything about him, but he stood near 7 feet tall, almost 330 pounds. The man was an exceptional athlete. Can move like a light heavyweight inside that ring, throw drop kicks, balance himself on the top rope. I mean, the Undertaker. Now, I wasn't a huge wrestling fan, possibly until Survivor Series 1991, and I know all about Hulk Hogan. But, you know, my friends, the two Joshes, I was like in my old neighborhood, it was Josh Vieira and Josh Souza. I call Big Josh and Little Josh. They were talking about this Undertaker guy. I'm like, who's this Undertaker guy? He takes people under or something like that? I don't know. I had to look up the word, Undertaker. And I saw him at Survivor Series, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is impervious to pain. He's like a zombie. And you hit him and he's nothing. And I figured I was a little scared, and he was a heel at the time, and he fought Hogan for the title, and I was so mad when Ric Flair got involved. Taker won the title, and then Hogan retained the title on Tuesday in Texas, but Jack Tunney decided to vacate the title and put it up in the Royal Rumble. The Undertaker was already starting to gain a little popularity. Ultimate Warrior left the company mid-91. After his feud with The Undertaker was one of the most notorious villains back then. I remember he locked the Ultimate Warrior up in a casket, which was like the most famous incident of The Undertaker's career. But then I remember finding out he was undefeated until October of '91 when Tito Santana beat him at a show in Barcelona, Spain. Believe it or not, 2016, I met Tito Santana. That means I have a picture with the guy who was the first person to beat The Undertaker. I mean, who knew, right? You know, who knew, right? But since the match wasn't televised, it didn't count it, so it was like, no. But it did happen. And, you know, there's a YouTube channel up on it somewhere. Just type in Tito Santana versus The Undertaker. But then, he was like undefeated until he beat Hogan for the championship, And the Undertaker was a dominant force back in 1990, 91, 92. But then his popularity really skyrocketed when he decided to go up against Jake the Snake Roberts. And you know, that's another incident at the funeral parlor where Saturday night's main event happened, February '92. That same night, Sid Justice turned against Hulk Hogan, against Ric Flair and The Undertaker. The match that ended the card, ended the show, was Savage Roberts. Macho Man won the matchup. Jake the Snake Roberts left the ring. He says, I don't care which one goes through that curtain. I'm going to nail him with the steel chair. Vince and Bobby bring in, like, can somebody get some help back there or something like that. When Elizabeth went to go through the curtains first, Jake the Snake Roberts tried to take the swing, but the Undertaker stopped him. And I'm like, whoa, he stopped Jake the Snake Roberts. Why would he do that? Guys got a cold-hearted. You know, it was full of darkness. And then Jake the Snake Roberts demanded answers from the Undertaker. And when he says, whose side are you on? And when Undertaker says, not yours, he put the urn inside a coffin. And when the Undertaker went to reach for it, he slammed the Undertaker's fingers shut on the coffin. You know, Jake the Snake Roberts DDT'd Paul Bearer and started waffling the Undertaker with steel chairs, punches, and all that, but he kept on coming. More steel chair shots, more punches. He kept on coming. He kept on going. And then the officials said, okay, we're going to make the match. Undertaker, Jake the Snake Roberts, WrestleMania 8. The Undertaker became so popular. At that point, a lot of people loved The Undertaker. I mean, and in 1992, they had a period where he was facing some of the biggest, meanest dudes ever. And I mean, he faced superstars close to his size. Close to his size, close to his strength. And what was amazing about that is that they had an exclusive interview. It was on Coliseum home video, but it wasn't aired on DVD. When Lord Alfred Hayes decided to interview The Undertaker and Paul Bearer. And the real reason why Undertaker did turn against Jake the Snake Roberts, Paul Bearer said that Jake the Snake Roberts was using The Undertaker for his own personal gain. And you know what? Personally, I don't blame The Undertaker and Paul Bearer for thinking like that. So that's what happened. And after Undertaker took care of Jake the Snake Roberts, he dealt with the Berserker who almost stabbed him through the ropes. In the ring with his sword. And that was crazy enough. It's another incident. Three major incidents that happened with The Undertaker. And then after dealing with the Berserker, he dealt with the Ugandan giant, Kamala. And Kamala's been a veteran of the Ring Wars for a very long time. In the 80s, in like the mid-80s, mid-late 80s. And you figure The Undertaker and Kamala, that'd be a heck of a fight. Kamala's like 6'7", over the 400-pound mark. And him and Undertaker just went at it. I mean, they just went at it. I mean, it will culminate in a coffin match at Survivor Series 1992, which Undertaker won. But then Undertaker had a brief feud with Nails, and then when they talked about this on the Last Ride documentary, when Yokozuna made his debut, Undertaker wanted to work with him. He said, Vince, you gotta get me. And he waited until Yokozuna moved and all that. Undertaker's like, you gotta get me to work with him. But then Vince goes, not yet. I got another time. Then one walks in, Giant Gonzalez. And he goes, Vince, this is why I left WCW. I didn't want to work with the big guy. Well, they did, Giant Gonzalez. That was a humongous thing. Giant Gonzalez, near 8 feet tall, man. You can't, get much better than that. So you got Giant Gonzalez coming in, waffling The Undertaker, which no one has ever done. And then midsummer '93, you had Mr. Hughes, coming in and battling The Undertaker. I figured Mr. Hughes and Taker was one of my dream matches. Battle of the big men, and I figured with Yokozuna, I was like, oh, Yokozuna and Taker, that would be a dream matchup. Then after Undertaker got Paul Bearer back, he knocked out Giant Gonzalez. And so then Yokozuna came in to feud after Jim Cornette was running his mouth about how nobody could beat Yokozuna. Everybody's afraid of Yokozuna, and The Undertaker appeared and said, and Paul Bearer was like, "You looking for a challenge? You got one in The Undertaker." So basically, Undertaker challenged him for the championship, and then he replaced Tatanka for the All-American team with Lex Luger and the Steiners at Survivor Series '93. He put a lot of fear in Yokozuna's face, and it was crazy, to say the least. Now you figure, having the Undertaker feud with someone like Ludwig Borga, Ludwig Borga was a tough dude. And then Undertaker playing mind games with Yokozuna, and then he built his double wide, double deep casket for Yoko for the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble '94 came around, the two fought. You had Yokozuna in the casket, Crush came out, and then all of a sudden everybody came out. Like 9 superstars total 10 superstars. They dropped them in the casket, slammed shut the lid, padlocked it. It was over. Then Undertaker says he'll be back, and then you got Ted DiBiase claiming he got the Undertaker and bought him, and everybody's saying, "Oh, it's a fake Undertaker. It's Underfaker." The real deal came back at SummerSlam. The two Undertakers fought. The real Undertaker won, and then he decided to resume his feud with Yokozuna. Survivor Series came around. Chuck Norris was the special enforcer. People tried to interfere. Chuck Norris says, Undertaker, Yokozuna fought. Taker got Yokozuna in the casket, broke the Japanese flag, put it in there, slammed shut the lid. It's over. Meanwhile, IRS stole the urn from. The IRS attacked the Undertaker from behind, and then at the Royal Rumble, he stole the urn. IRS stole the urn, and then he feuded with $1 Million Corporation. After defeating IRS at the Royal Rumble, he dealt with King Kong Bundy. That's another big, huge man. And I remember, they had briefly got the urn back, and then Kama stole it and threatened to turn it into a necklace. Meanwhile, Undertaker body slammed King Kong Bundy with ease, and 1, 2, 3. Taker wins the match. And then Taker went after Kama. He went after Kama. Not Kamala, Kama. The Supreme Fighting Machine. They had the Creatures of the Night, play mind games with him and all that. Gorilla Monsoon says, you know what? You're going to rough up fans and calling of the Undertaker's caliber. It'll be a casket match at SummerSlam. Taker defeated Kama in the casket match, and then the necklace ended up in the hands of King Mabel and Sir Mo of Men on a Mission. And then the Winter Combat happened. Undertaker defeated King Mabel and Sir Mo, and then that was it. Taker got his urn back. And then you're talking about 1996. He decided, well, he's going to challenge Bret the Hitman Hart for the title. So Bret Hart accepted the challenge, although Diesel and Owen Hart and Bob Backlund interjected themselves in the matchup. And Undertaker dealt with Diesel throughout the beginning of 1996. They fought at WrestleMania 12. Undertaker defeated Diesel. Kevin Nash. That will be Kevin Nash's last WrestleMania. More on that. Until 2002. So, Undertaker, after dealing with Diesel, he had to deal with Mankind, who basically beat the snot out of him. The two had traded blows, and at SummerSlam, Paul Bearer betrayed him from Undertaker from Mankind, and then Undertaker took on Mankind at Madison Square Garden at Survivor Series, and then he was about to get 5 minutes along with Paul Bearer, and then the Executioner showed up. He feuded with the Executioner, dealt with him, and then it was, and then you got Royal Rumble in 1997, which he was part of. He was feuding with Vader. Undertaker and Vader, Big Van Vader, who knew, right? And they started feuding, they started brawling, and then it was back to Mankind and all that, and then when Undertaker became the champ, was challenging Sid for the title at WrestleMania 13. Undertaker defeated Psycho Sid for the championship, and then he had to deal with reuniting with Paul Bearer. He had to deal with Farouk of the Nation of Domination. Ahmed Johnson turned his back to Undertaker to join the Nation. Then after getting by Farouk at King of the Ring, which prompted Farouk to renew the Nation and all that by firing everybody from the Nation except for D'Lo Brown. And then Undertaker dealt with Shawn Michaels after Bret Hart defeated him for the championship at SummerSlam. The two fought, and then Kane came into the picture. And then Kane comes into the picture, destroys Undertaker with a tombstone pile driver, and Kane kept on playing mind games and hurting innocent people till Taker accepted the challenge. Taker refuses to fight him. They joined a temporary alliance against DX. When Taker was challenging Michaels for the championship at the Royal Rumble in a casket match. And then, thanks to Kane, Shawn Michaels won, put the casket on fire, but Undertaker was nowhere to be seen. Kane kept on taunting The Undertaker through Paul Bearer, and then Undertaker came back. He said, "You and me, WrestleMania 14. The two fought, took 3 tombstones, beat Kane. They both, Brothers Destruction fought in the Inferno match, and then they were commissioned by Vince McMahon to try to take the title off Stone Cold Steve Austin, against Stone Cold Steve Austin. They almost succeeded. Then Undertaker reconciled with Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer turns back to Kane. The two fought in a casket match. And then Kane starts going berserk. Undertaker's starting his own Ministry of Darkness. And then Kane joins the corporation. And then Taker started feuding with Ken Shamrock. And then in '99, the Ministry of Darkness was trying to take over the World Wrestling Federation at that point. And they were feuding with the corporation. Undertaker recruited a lot of people to watch his back between Bradshaw, Farouk, the former Dennis Knight, known as Median, the former Mabel, was known as Viscera. They fought, they had the Brood, Gangrel, Edge, Christian, and then Ken Shamrock basically forced the Ministry to kick out the Brood, and then after WrestleMania, Undertaker kidnapped Stephanie, McMahon tried to go for a unholy wedding. Stone Cold stopped him. Taker and Stone Cold went at it for the championship. The corporate ministry merged up. And Taker and Stone Cold were at it for the title. Taker had the championship for a while, defended it against The Rock, and then, it was Stone Cold. And then after Taker lost the title back to Stone Cold and lost the First Blood Era match to get the title, to retain the title. Undertaker moved on, joined up with the Big Show, became tag team champions at SummerSlam, and then they lost the titles to The Rock and Sock Connection. Undertaker sat out, didn't wrestle as much, and then he decided to, not do anything because he didn't want to face Triple H in a casket match. And Vince says, well, you have no place to be in the matchup. So the British Bulldog replaced The Undertaker. Undertaker came back in May of 2000 with a new biker look and started making people famous. He feuded with Chris Benoit. He feuded with Kurt Angle and teamed up with The Rock, became tag team champs with him for a short period of time. Feuded with Austin, feuded with Triple H, feuding with Kurt Angle, feuded with Kane, so for SummerSlam 2000, and then took part in the Hell in a Cell matchup, 6-pack Hell in a Cell matchup. He feuded with everybody. He feuded with Rikishi too, and then Rikishi and Haku came in. Haku came back to the WWE in 2001. Him and Rikishi went after Undertaker. Kane came up, and then the two reunited. And then it was Undertaker and Kane dominating in 2001, heading up fending off the invasion. Him and Kane became the only tag team to hold the WWE and WCW titles simultaneously of the tag team championships. They lost the belts, both belts in a separate way. They ran into Chronic, and then Taker turned heel, started feuding with Ric Flair, Austin, The Rock, Ric Flair, and then you got, then he won the title from Hulk Hogan a second time, to be the undisputed champion. He feuded with Rock and Angle, feuded with Triple H for a bit, because he was the prime target for the championships. And then Undertaker ran into the Un-Americans, turned good again at that point. Feuded with Test at SummerSlam, and then then Vince McMahon was harassing him a little bit, disrespecting him. Undertaker took care of that, and then Vince McMahon says, "You got one more match. You're facing me in a Buried Alive match at Survivor Series." This is later on in 2003. Then, thanks to Kane, Vince won. Came back at WrestleMania 20 as the original Dead Man with Paul Bearer. And I could just go on about this man's career. The Undertaker is so dominant, and he was like one of the best. He's one of the most popular and respected legends of the wrestling business today. Like, as people say, Mount Rushmore, Undertaker will be right up there, So, I could tell you more about his career. Chronologically, it would be here all night. Don't want to do that. Got to wake up and get work in the morning. But all I can tell you is the Undertaker is the man. And that's there is to it. No offense to Becky Lynch. Undertaker is the man. And he's just an awesome force not to be messed with and trifled with. So Undertaker says the cowboy rides to the sunset. Thank you, sir. You are the last outlaw, American badass, the phenom. Well, we have a lot of respect for you, Undertaker. We want to say thank you. Thank you for 30 years of entertaining us and enthralling us with your aura as far as the presence that you bring to the ring is just amazing and phenomenal. So, Undertaker, thank you. Thank you so much. If indeed the Boneyard match was your last match, then thank you. If you decide to come back with one more matchup and set somebody straight, I will welcome that. Put him to the test. But Taker's, we're going to miss him in the ring, cutting promos and all that. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in for a very special edition of EML77 TV, episode 711. Thank you, Undertaker. Your legacy will live forever, and it will not rest in peace, because it will live forever. So Undertaker, a salute to you. Thank you for 30 years. Enjoy your retirement. Enjoy being with your wife and your daughters. Be blessed. Until we see you again in the ring, sir. Undertaker, thank you. And that's it. It's all the time for 711, I should say. I will see you on the next episode of EML77 TV.